Optimizing your profile. So I know this might seem pretty basic for some of you, but bear with me because this is super important. So when it comes to your profile, I want you to think about it from your customer's perspective. So when your customer lands on your profile, they want to be able to know who you are, what it is that you do, and how they can benefit from it immediately. So that's why we're optimizing things like your profile picture, your name, your bio, the link in your bio, all of those things. So let's start right here at the top with the profile picture. So if you have the option of either representing your business as a person, like I do here in my picture, or if you have a logo or a name, I would always try to lean more towards the personal aspect if possible, because remember, people buy from people. So if you can show your face and make your face the face of the business, the trust that's built there is going to be a lot higher. But if you have to have a logo or whatever your brand image is, then try to apply these same things. So just make it a recognizable image, make sure it's clear. I know this example here, it's pretty zoomed in so you can see my face well, but remember, when someone's on Instagram, on the app, or even on Facebook, it's going to be a pretty small picture. So just make sure whatever that picture is, it really fills the frame up and fills up that image so that it's easily identifiable. So like I was saying, if you have a logo, just make sure it's clear, it's concise, you can see it easily, and it almost stands out within the profile on social media. So like for profile picture, for example, here, if you can have your face, you want to show your personality, so smile, make sure your face is visible, like this picture here, you can see. And then also you want to make sure that you have a bright background or just something that will help your face kind of stand out from that background. Just makes it easier to see. And remember, when we talk about optimizing here, this is just about little tweaks and little changes that you can do to improve the results you're going to get. So is it worth it doing all of these things? I would say yes, because all of these tiny little optimizations are what's going to add up and get you the best results. So just keep that in mind. If you can make these little tweaks and do these improvements, you will see some better results from it. So moving on to the name. So here is a very simple setup. You're just going to have your name plus the keyword one-liner. So in my example here, it's just Nick Rizzo, Wilmington Video Marketing. So it's very clear what my name is and also what it is that I do. And something to do in terms of research or to make this a little easier to understand is look at this question here. What would someone search to find someone like you? So again, we're thinking about this from our customer's perspective and what it is that they're looking for. So for example, right, Nick Rizzo, Wilmington Video Marketing. So if someone doesn't know my name yet, but they are searching for video marketing services in Wilmington, this is just going to increase the chances that I show up for it. And two more examples, John Doe, home renovation, right? It clearly states what it is they do in just a one-liner. And then also Nancy Smith, Wilmington Interior Design. So these are just optimized more so for search. So if people are typing in, searching in the search bar for one of these services, for home renovation or for interior design, this is going to increase the chances that you show up. And one other thing to keep in mind here is how specific you can get with what it is that your business offers. So like for my example, Wilmington Video Marketing is pretty specific. It's more specific than just video marketing alone. So remember that when it comes to these two examples. So if we have one person who is an interior designer, that's pretty broad, but if you want to narrow it down even further, you can just toss the location in there and say Wilmington Interior Design, and now you're more specific to your area. So when it comes to marketing, the more specific you can be with who your ideal customer is, they're gonna feel like when they land on your page, oh, this person is the Wilmington interior designer that I'm looking for. Versus if they land on a page that just says interior design, it's not gonna resonate as much as if they see that location in there as well. So something to keep in mind when it comes to optimizing your name and that keyword one-liner. Moving on, next is the line number 1 of your bio. So up here, we were talking about the name, which is this very first line, and then moving into the actual bio itself, the first line is going to be that classic I help statement. So I'm sure you've seen this time and time again. This is a very basic structure of what it is. It is I help ideal customer achieve desired outcome. So some examples, I help homeowners create their dream space. So I help the ideal customer of homeowners achieve their dream space, which is the desired outcome. And again, I help luxury homeowners design modern spaces. That would be for the interior design example. So like I had mentioned, the more specific you can be with who it is that you serve and the outcome that you get for them, it's going to resonate even more with that customer. So example, there's probably thousands, if not millions, of interior designers out there, but how many interior designers do you know that help luxury homeowners specifically design modern spaces? So as you can see, that's going to narrow down the customer that you're attracting because you're being very specific as to the type of homeowners that you help and even the specific outcome that you help them achieve. So again, if the more specific you can be with who it is you serve and the outcome you get for them, the better your results tend to be with marketing. So keep that in mind. As an alternate, I listed here, so you can also add on to this. So in addition to the I help ideal customer achieve desired outcome, you can also add the without effort or sacrifice. So for example, I help new homeowners create their dream space without stressing over DIY. So the only reason I don't typically tend to use this, and as you can see in my bio, I don't have the without section, is just for the sake of the bio on Instagram. Like when you look at it, if I were to add a without statement to the end of this, it would spill over to the next line. And again, just to optimize things, to keep it as optimal as possible, if you can keep everything short and concise and to the point and keep it on one line, it's going to avoid dragging your bio out, making it longer than 3 to 4 lines, and then it's just going to be harder for people to understand. So I would say don't do this at all, but it's just something to consider. If you have more of a short or concise way to condense this down, then that's perfectly fine to also include the without section, because again, that's just going to resonate even more with the ideal customer that you're trying to attract. So moving on to line 2. So again, we have name and keyword up here. Line 1 of the bio is the I help statement. And then line 2 is going to be some credibility or some social proof. So here's just some basic examples for the home renovation business would be 100 plus home transformations completed. Another option could be voted Wilmington's #1 luxury in design, and then also just showing, hey, 10 years plus serving Wilmington. So it's just some basic credibility, some social proof, just to show people, hey, look, this is what we've achieved. This is something that we have accomplished in our years of business, to show people, hey, look, we are credible, right? We've worked with other people. We have proof. We've been featured in this magazine or in this local blog or whatever it is. The bonus tip here is just to tie it back into what you do. So if a business maybe is featured in Forbes or something, for example, but that's not really relevant to what they do, just think about it. Like, it's kind of unnecessary for someone just to throw that out there. Whereas if you can state, hey, look, we've helped 100 plus homeowners transform their home right here in Wilmington, it ties back into exactly what they're doing. So keep that in mind when it comes to the credibility and the social proof aspect. Try to tie it back into what you're doing, and keep in mind, your customers are the ones that are going to be reading this. So make sure that when you have this set up, you have it set up in a way that, okay, let me think, what would my customer want to hear? Like, what would help build trust with them, show them some credibility, show them some social proof, and try to put that onto your page. So line number 2 is there, and then line number 3, moving down to the bottom here, is the keyword. So DM, we have it as DM keyword, right? And this one can be optional, just depending on your type of business, like what it is you could really include in there. So for example, DM me this keyword for a specific resource. And this is just another way to get people to show intent or show interest whenever they come to your profile. So keep in mind, people are going to be constantly seeing your page from your ads. And when they get to your page, you want to, again, state all these things. You want to have your name. You want to have that keyword telling them what you do. You want to have the statement that tells them, hey, look, I help this person achieve this outcome specifically. And by the time they're reading through all these things and they get to the bottom here where it's saying, hey, now you can just DM me the word build to get started. That just gives them a way to take action right away and move forward in the process. So this is cool because it gives you the option to have different things sort of linked to your bio. And this moves on to line number 4, which is just having that call to action to the link in your bio. And what I would recommend for this, probably the biggest takeaway I can give, is with the link in bio, just make sure that it is one link. So I know you've seen the link trees and all these other different ways that you can link multiple things into your bio. And what this does is basically distracts or confuses your customers. And a confused mind does not buy. So if you can have one link in there, whether it's directly to book a call with you, so just put your calendar link right in that link in bio section, or link it directly to an application on your website, or like a quote form, something along those lines, or an actual lead form, or you can link to a resource like a lead magnet or something along those lines, which you can still use to capture people's lead information. So just have one link in there, and then as an alternate here, you can have another line that just prompts them to click that link in your bio. So for example, you can have a lead magnet or a resource about the top home renovation mistakes and how to avoid them. So you would literally copy that line, put it right into your bio, and the link in your bio would go directly to that resource so that the customers who see it on your page can directly get value from it. And the other two examples are just how to design a luxury home on a budget. So maybe this links to some sort of guide or checklist, or just something that's valuable to the customer that will help build trust with them, give them another touch point, another piece of content for them to consume from you that will then hopefully push them towards booking the consultation or scheduling the call to take the next steps with you. So keep that in mind with all of this. Again, I know it's just talking about optimizing your profile and how to make it better and how to increase the results that you get from it. So just take all these things into account and make it as relevant to your business and specifically to your ideal customer as best as you can. Because like I've mentioned already multiple times, the more specific you can be about who it is you serve and what it is that you do for them, it's just going to increase the chances that you resonate with them even more. Because again, if you're super broad and you just say, I help homeowners build their dream home, that's very broad and not very specific. Whereas if you were to say, I help luxury homeowners build, their dream space, or just get more specific, right, as to who specifically it is you help and what the transformation is that you help them achieve, it's just going to help with your marketing 10 times more. So take all this into account. If you have any questions, reach out, shoot me a message, and I'm happy to help. But give this a shot and let me know how it works.